This video will describe a special rule for relative clauses. It's located down here. It's called relative clause rules. And there's really one rule here, but it can have up to 99 different structures. And this rule is executed after all of these strategies have been executed. Sometimes you'll need a special rule to deal with your relative clauses. For example, it's fairly common that languages only permit relative clauses to be formed on subjects. If they want to form a relative clause on a grammatical relation other than subject, then they have to take that NP-rel and promote it to subject. And I'll show you an example of that here. But first, I want to show you this sentence. This is saying the house that John lives in is at that place or over there. The house that John lives in. In English, we would usually say the house where John lives is over there. So in English, we would also have a special rule that converts the relativizer to where whenever NP-rel is in oblique with a preposition. But for this language, I want to show you this rule. I had the rule turned off because I wanted to show you what that clause was like without it, this rule. What this rule does is it looks for NP-rels that are some grammatical relation other than subject. For example, this one is saying if NP-rel is an object. I won't explain the details of this type of rule. I'll talk about these when we talk about the structural adjustment rules. For now, I just want to show you this rule is here. It's available to do any extra structural adjustments you need in your relative clauses. So this one is saying if there's a noun modified by a relative clause and NP-rel is an object, then promote that object to subject. This structure is saying if there's a relative clause modifying a noun and NP-rel is an indirect object, promote that indirect object to the subject. This one is saying if there's a relative clause modifying a noun and the NP-rel is an oblique, promote that oblique to subject. And there's other, the rule is doing other things as well too. Look at one more. If there's an NP-rel with an oblique and an add position, promote it to subject. This is the structure that will apply in this particular sentence. So we'll turn the rule on, we'll say OK, and now when we go here, remember these rules are executed even before the verse is displayed to us. If we look here, we'll see that this grammatical relation is a subject, and if we rest our cursor down here, if we look at the last line, features changed from grammatical relation equals oblique to subject by relativization structures and strategies, relative clause rules, structure 4. So there's one more rule down here. Again, this is executed after all of these structures have been executed. Then the software will come here and execute the rules that you put inside here. And these can perform any additional structural adjustments that you need for relative clauses.